City of Angels, take two. It's Sunday night, and it's time for the MMT Golden Globes post-game spectacular. Get ready to go because it's going to be a fun night tonight. I got a lot of things to talk about. If you watch, come in with your comments. I'll get to as many as possible, including my takes. I am thrilled tonight. That is why we're getting down with the substance. Not only to me more winning, but also Anora going home with jack shit. You're damn right I'm excited. That's the one thing I wanted. And it's going home empty-handed. It's a win on this Sunday night. Here we go. Breakdown. It's awesome to see Demi Moore win. And that speech, that's the kind of speech that'll carry you onto the next level, right? Which, of course, is going to be Oscar. You watch the narrative now set for Demi Moore as I continue to play the substance because why not? It's our new theme song here on MMT. Ooh. And it's really perfect because not only is he deserving, and the film is one of the best films of the year, without question, right? I mean, not even a doubt. I think you're looking at the substance, you're looking at the Brutalist, you go back to the films that we love here on MMT. Anora is not one of them. And again, as it goes home empty-handed, I am just relieved that we might finally be turning the corner on something I said 3 months ago here on MMT, when I came out of that early screening of Anora and I went off. Go back and watch. It's 20 minutes of me ranting and raving about the most overrated film of this century. And the fact that nothing is taken home tonight in the way of wins for Anora is enough for me to continue doing this channel for another 10 years minimum. And some of you are angry what I just said. It's just, unfortunately, that's the reality. When I am this stoked, because I am going to dance on the grave of Anora as long as we have this channel. Sean Baker is the most overrated writer in maybe the history, certainly this year, of any script, and Anora deserves to go down in flames because it is straight fucking garbage. And I'm so thrilled. I can't even tell. Can you tell I'm excited? Let's do it. Let's go through the winners and the losers here tonight. The big loser, Anora. And again, get out the champagne, pop the cork, and we're going to celebrate at AMC 16 on the stairs as soon as the stream is over. I'm going to head down with a case of natural light because that's how I roll. And we're going to drink on the stairs and celebrate Anora going 0 for wins tonight. What a night it was. Let's go through some of the winners and my thoughts here. If you're watching on X, thanks for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, we love you too. Either way, it's all good here. Again, live as always. Nobody does it like us. I guess Gore tried to do a stream tonight. I bet you guys fell asleep. I would fall asleep. Watching Gore talk about the Globes live? Good God. You'd have to pay me money. You'd have to PayPal me like $1,000. And I'd be like, nah, I still don't want to watch. Here we go, guys. Listen, I'm 3 minutes in and already destroyed whatever they did. I already know that. I don't need to be told these things. I already know these things. Here we go. Let's start with the biggie, the best motion picture drama. And, listen, when we came out of the Brutalist here a few weeks ago, finally got a chance to see it. It's in our top 10. It's not my number one film of the year. It's The Substance. But listen, it's still right there. It's a top 5 film, and I would argue the most worthy to win Best Picture, right? Because Best Picture, in this case, Best Drama, is the greatest achievement in cinema. And there are 2 films that did that this year. Substance, Brutalist. Those 2, without question. Now, some of my smaller films that I love, but when you talk about films that can win, those are the only 2 that I would even consider voting for. And the fact that they name Brutalist Best Drama is a win for the Golden Globes and the HFPA, or whatever they call themselves now. The Brutalist is your winner as it wins over the Complete Unknown. I really like Complete Unknown. Very strong film. One of my favorite films of the year. Conclave, completely overrated. Should not have won screenplay. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Dune Part 2 should be there. Nickel Boys. And September 5th. Listen, we've talked about September 5th, and it's important that now that film's coming to you here very soon, Paramount put that platform release on it, which means it goes New York, LA, Chicago, right? The big cities, and then it slowly expands. It's not doing well. I want you to support this film. September 5th film you should see because the edits are fire. One of the best edited films of the year, and the ensemble, one of the strongest. It should be up for a SAG. It's one of the greatest ensemble performances of this year, so it better be there. So that's a film that really needs more attention, and we really like September 5th. The Brutalist, though, again, as a cinematic achievement, right? Shooting on VistaVision, showing it in 70 millimeter. The grand expanse of this American epic is all there for you. And when it comes, and it's coming soon to you, you're going to get it here in the next couple of weeks. And remember, January sucks. These movies are terrible. You got things like, what the hell is that one with Gerard Butler, Part 2, the Heat ripoff? I got Den of Thieves 2, and then you have the Mark Wahlberg going bald pilot movie. This is garbage. This is what happens in January. That said, I'll bet you both films are better than Anora. So there's that. There is that. But when you look at the overall achievement of this film, and when it comes to you here in about a week or so, 2 weeks, you need to run out and see The Brutalist. Here's what I advise, though. As much as I'm a fan of 70 millimeter and certainly the VistaVision here and Brady Corbet and what he really, as you heard in that speech, you just watched the Golden Globes, you heard him talk about the fact that no one believed in the movie. 3.5 hours long, this expansive American epic, tale of immigration here. And it is a demanding film. Okay. You need to be in the right mood. If you're not in the right mood for The Brutalist, you're not going to be in the right headspace, right, to really take it in, process it, and appreciate it. We talk about this all the time at MMT. You've got to be in the right moment, in the right emotion for certain films. And I find myself, when I'm not, just skipping because I have to be there and ready. I've talked about my refractory period, right? When I watch a movie, I almost need 48 hours. I'm not, 24 is the absolute minimum. I don't want anything less than that. I want to process it. I want to regenerate my interest in going back to the movies because I see everything theatrically, right? I only watched like 2 things on screeners this year, and that was Hard Truths, which we'll talk about here shortly. That's coming out very soon. Tremendous performance in that film. And then we talk about Last Showgirl, which I am a fan of. We reviewed that a few weeks ago. That's coming to you, by the way, as well. That's a film I recommend. It's not in the top 10 films of the year, but from a filmmaking perspective, Coppola has the best, I think, one of the best looks of the year, right? It's really just gritty, grounded direction like we saw in an Asphalt City. Get out your MMT bingo cards, bang, place it on Asphalt City. You have one covered. That's what I'm looking for. So that's a film we recommend coming here in a few weeks, if not this week for you. So let's talk about The Brutalist, though, from an achievement. You talk about a direction in Corbet. You talk about Brody winning tonight, who should win. So that's definitely the right call, okay? But Brody is going to win Oscar. Brutalist is going to win Best Picture. And I called that weeks ago. I was talking to Menzel, and you can ask Menzel. We've had him on the stream. He'd have to say yes. When he said, what's going to win? And I said, Brutalist. And he's like, Wicked? No, I said, excuse me, what part of Brutalist did you not understand? And I hadn't even seen the movie. I just knew from the praise, which generally tends to get a little out of control. I knew the praise seemed like it was actually warranted. Okay, someone asked me this, and if listen, I'm trying to get to the comments. I do not have Gone Girl tonight. So if I'm missing a comment, it's because I can't get to them because I'm trying to do this, and doing 2 things at once is difficult, right? I'm trying to do a live show by myself and hammer all these points home and do it without a net. Because again, live, as you saw, we had to restart the stream tonight because all of a sudden I lost my camera. That's like the first time that's ever happened. That's fun. But when you look at The Brutalist from an overall achievement, it's very clearly the best film of the year, right? Because again, you have this gigantic film, behemoth, right? And you have a performance. You have, and by the way, let's talk about, I know a lot of you haven't seen The Brutalist, and I don't want to get into too much of the nuts and bolts of it, right? That's not what we do. I know sometimes I do go a little too far with spoilers. I'm going to try not to because I think it's important you don't know anything about these films. I think it's best you walk into almost any film and know nothing. Okay, short of a sequel, you obviously know what's going on there. But if you're watching a Brutalist, I didn't even know that. Oh, I almost said a spoiler. Just go in not knowing anything. But I will tell you that Brody is in the film like 95% of the time. So he has a massive role within a massive film. So again, whenever we're talking about, a coin flip, is it going to be Brody or Chalamet, let's say? Even though Chalamet is very much, again, 90% of that film as well, you still have the Baez angle. You have a lot of other things going on. With The Brutalist, it's Brody. If that doesn't work, the film's going to hell, okay? So he deserves to win because of the level of difficulty, right? Degree of difficulty is high. The screen time is massive, and his execution is near perfection. Therefore, you have a winner in Brody. I think what's nice about The Brutalist winning here is it is clearly one of the best films of the year, if not in some people's opinion, the best. Again, Substance is ahead for me, and a film called Handling the Undead, which no one talks about. It's fine. It's what we do. I like to champion really small films. It's a neon film, but no one went to see it. It was on like 7 screens, and I did see it here at AMC. Thank you, Neon. Even though I destroyed Anora, I still value Neon as a brand. I think they're better than A24 right now. Remember, when we talk about The Brutalist and A24, it's very important to note that The Brutalist was an acquisition, right? It was not an A24 film. So when you look at A24 having the worst year by far of their 10 plus years in existence, this is their worst year. The Brutalist was not their film. They saw it. They acquired it. Now, you're going to say, well, they had to have the foresight to know it's 3.5 hours long. Listen, man, I just tweeted it out. When you watch The Brutalist, you're like, there's your best picture. You just know it. It has the stature, the feel. It has the grandness you're looking for. All that's there. So I don't need to hear that A24 is brilliant for picking up this movie. Like, no, I'm not playing that game. A24 is not brilliant. Okay. Not with what I sat through this year. You guys didn't watch Tuesday, The Front Room, Civil War. Holy shit. What an overrated film. Oh my God. Only, if not for Anora, Civil War would be the most overrated film of the year. Those two films can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. Both of them suck ass. Anora worse, but they both, oh my God. I'm telling you, I'm letting you guys know something. Someone just said, Jeremy Johns said that Anora's. I don't care if Jeremy Johns has 7 million views on YouTube and 1,000 people that suck at the T to Jeremy Johns. If 1 million people. If you say Anora is one of the best films of the year, let alone the best film of the year, let me help you, everybody who's never heard. It is fucking over. It's over. There's no coming back. There's no return. You don't understand. I will never listen to anything you have to say about film for the remainder of time. So I'm glad you put it on your list. And someone asked me this, and if it's in the comments, I appreciate the tweet, and I can bring it here without seeing it. Here's a comment. If you're commenting, I'll try to get to them. I'm going to. I'm just, I'm riffing. I'm going hard on Anora. Let me do this. Someone said, why do people get so hyped on films like Anora when they go to a festival and they go, oh my God, it's the best thing? Because this space is littered with fucking lemmings. That's why, guys. Do you not understand that by now? Do you not see that this space, film Twitter, is full of zero fortitude, wannabe, know-nothings, and all they want to do is say this is the greatest thing because that's what they're supposed to say. You don't live life supposing to say things. You fucking know them or you don't. These people are like, well, I think we're supposed to say that it's Sean Baker, so it's got to be good. I don't care if you've made 10 masterpieces in your career. Your next film starts at 0 and we start grading. We do not grade on a fucking curve, as we just saw with Gladiator 2. Oh my God, are you kidding me? We had our boy Soups calling that the best movie ever made. There's the end of that dude's career. The fact that anyone listens to that clown is ridiculous, but I can't help it. Some of you all listening to false prophets and fools. Not my issue. You need to figure them out. I'm not that. I'm the real fucking deal. But when you look at these directors of note, you look at a Sean Baker. Let's talk about Anora coming out of Cannes, winning the Palm, right? So right here, I don't care if it won the Palm. It doesn't matter. that fact that it won in front of a jury, including Greta Gerwig, and someone mentioned this is a very good point. Greta Gerwig is almost single-handedly responsible for Anora. She came out and just lapped all kinds of praise, just glazed Sean Baker. Like, oh my God, it's the greatest. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't care what Greta Gerwig says, because let me tell you something. I told you guys about Barbie. The first thing I'm doing with Barbie, as soon as I get done watching the test screening and I'm in the room with Greta, I'm like, first, let me explain to you. You are going to drop the entire opening scene. It is gone. The Kubrick shit is out. It is one. It's not even up for debate. You're going to remove it. It's struck and it's gone from the record. It doesn't exist. It did exist in the trailer. You can have that. You're not getting the final cut. And Brady talked about that tonight, final cut. I can tell you that I know I'm right. And whenever I say that about Barbie, they go, my God, he's right. Because the movie starts on a down. Here's the girl smashing the Barbie dolls' heads. What? Smashing the baby dolls. I'm like, this is not how you start a movie. You start with an effervescent Lego movie start. Go watch the Lego movie. Talk about a masterpiece. That film is one of the best, product films ever in the history of any. Name another film. Lego movie does it better than anybody. Lord and Miller, geniuses. Okay? And I'm telling you, watch Lego movie. Watch how it starts. Bang, Emma starts talking. It goes, it's fast, it's quick. Barbie should have started just like that. The fact that it doesn't, I'm telling you guys, I can make these films better. They're not going to listen. Warner Brothers ain't listening. A24 doesn't, I don't care. It's not, I'm just telling you, I'm right. And I know it, and you know it too. So Greta Gerwig is going to tell me that Anora is a masterpiece. I don't know. First of all, again, based on Barbie, I'm not going to listen to you. I do admire her as a filmmaker. I think she's solid, right? I have no problem. I like Little Women. I like Lady Bird. And I admire most of Barbie. It's a roller coaster. There's parts I like and parts I don't. But overall, she's talented. I think she's learned a lot from Noah. Noah's one of my favorite filmmakers, right? Grounded, just human films. But you look at her coming out and saying that this film is the greatest film here at this festival, and Sean Baker, and then that starts the narrative. And remember, once the narrative is established, the average person on film Twitter, the average critic, does not have the balls to say this is garbage. And I'm telling you, you know I'm right. I'm the only guy who rides in front of these films and taking all the bullets, and then it all turns around, everything everywhere. I was the first guy, number one, okay? Number one on Anora. Number one on Poor Things. And I know a lot of you don't like that. Too bad. Who was out in front? Who? Me, every time. Because I don't play the hype game. I play the value game. Is the film of value? Is what I'm watching truly great? Is it elite? In what areas? What filmmaking aspects are we looking at here that are off the scale? Tremendous. And when you look at an Anora, the only thing I like about it is the opening scene. I like the song, right? And I'll play it before we leave here tonight because it is one of my, I love the remix, okay? But that's it. That is, once I get the stripping thing done, not the horny, whoever's just horny. I like how that started. I go, I'm going to like this movie. And oh, hell no. Within minutes, I'm like, Anora's a whiny bitch. She's a one note. I'm not going to say the word. I almost did. And the entire film, okay? And then at the end, when we're supposed to care about Anora, guess what happens? Then all of a sudden she breaks down and we're like, oh, I'm so sad. I can't. No. You have to layer your character way earlier than that, than last second. Here she is. And now I'm supposed to care as she humps the Russian guy. Fucking terrible. That movie is so bad. And I'm telling you, every critics group that gives that best film, it's, you don't understand. You have literally shit on your awards. It's, you just took a dump. That's it. You're done. I mean, you have no value. We're not negotiating this shit. It's not happening. Let's continue. So I think I just buried Anora and praised Brutalist. That's an A. I want a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. That was, by the way, we're 20 minutes into this thing already, and I've already done more than Gore did in probably 3 hours because we're better, man. We're way better. It's not even a competition, man. If this were challengers, it would literally be ace, 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 and they hit it in the net. And then I hit more aces. Ace, ace, ace. That's how it rolls. Speaking of challengers, it did not win musical or comedy. It should have. Of these films, I would take Challengers or Substance, certainly. A Real Pain is another one of our favorite films of the year. You've got three strong films here in musical or comedy. All three are going to hopefully be nominated for Best Picture. Amelia Perez, listen, the only time I'm excited for Netflix is when it beats Anora. Otherwise, I would never, ever vote for a Netflix film. You guys know why. I do not watch Netflix films. They are not in theaters. They're not at AMC, Regal, Cinemark, the major chains. They're at Lemley. They're at small little indie places you have to drive all over to. Listen, if it's not at AMC, film doesn't exist. That's how I operate, okay? And if you want to get your film at AMC, talk to them. They show all kinds of shit here in Burbank. I've seen tiny films. You need to make it happen. Netflix doesn't want to. Therefore, I'm never voting for a Netflix film. So I'm going to pass on Amelia Perez. I have not watched it. I'm here to tell you it does not carry 1/10 the cultural significance of any of the films that you see in front of you, including A Real Pain, which was not a huge box office success. I still would definitely take that film any day from a cultural significance standpoint than Amelia Perez, as you heard tonight from Nikki talk about the best film that I saw over the auto run, right? Whatever that's called, the end of the Netflix, there it is, the best film I ever. That's the value of a Netflix movie. Wicked, I would have taken over that, right? Wicked's a very strong film. Didn't make our top 10, but it's a very good film. It's directed, listen, for an adaptation, Wicked's strong. And I think, by the way, Nikki did a great job tonight. I think there's a couple jokes I laughed at. You know, I wasn't aware of Wicked because I had friends in high school. Great line. That's funny, right? Digging the shit. That's good. Okay. And then there was one later, same kind of thing, right? Where it's just kind of like a slam on someone. But the way she does it, I think what Nikki does very well, more Gervais does the same thing, but he's more like, right, real biting. It just hits you like a fucking ton of bricks. She's like goofy and plays it off like the Chalamet, eyelash fucking mustache thing. That's the way she did that was good. The way she says it, the celebrities can't, they might be a little angry, but not like Gervais, who's just so dry and just like, oh, she's got the perfect way to deliver what she did tonight. She did a stellar job. Okay. Would I still take Gervais? Yes, because I love to see celebrities squirm. Okay. Especially, listen, that's what you want to watch. And I think that's what, hopefully if you watch the Golden Globes tonight, you at least got something out of Nikki versus you didn't get out of Kojoy or Joe, whatever that dude last year, bad, right? Okay, I'm going to go off on Best Motion Picture Animated because I'm here to tell you guys that Flow is one of the most overrated films of the year. And here is the problem with Flow. We talked about it in evaluation from a few weeks ago here. Flow is a film that should have been a short. It runs out of steam after about 30 minutes. The cat is on the boat. He's surviving the end of the world, the apocalypse, the Mayan apocalypse, it looks like in the movie. And, foreshadowing that we're coming to the end of our days, which we might be coming true, just let you know. But when you watch the film, it just runs out of it. That's why it's a short, right? It's a great short, not a great feature. The narrative, you talk about narratives and why narratives, when they created, every critics group is giving this to Flow. First of all, if you want to pick the small, independent animated film this year, it is very clearly Memoir of a Snail. Memoir of a Snail is 100 times the film Flow. Not up for debate. This isn't a contest. It's not even a contest, right? It's a one-punch knockout. Memoir of a Snail has so many really rich, deep, emotional strands running through it, man. When I watched it, I go, damn, man, we doing this? Yeah. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It should be on streaming by now. I had a chance to see it at AMC again, at AMC, IFC. These things are available here. We love that. But Memoir of a Snail is my favorite animated film of the year over Inside Out 2. Didn't see Moana 2. I've heard bad things. Wild Robot, very overrated film. Listen, again, when I go back to Wild Robot, and a lot of you think it's a best picture, there's no way in fuck that's a best picture. Okay, no. First of all, WALL-E's 100 times the film that is. If you want to compare Robot, Lost Robot, okay, but let's just not talk about that. As I go back to Lost Robot, I don't need my film to preach to me an environmental message. Okay. I've talked about this before. I don't mind, but I don't want it showing up in the film, right? It's annoying, right? Here, look, the Golden Gate Bridge is under fucking the ocean. I'm like, oh God, it's subliminal, right? A lot of you missed it. There's a lot of messaging going on in that film, a lot of messaging. I don't want my films to have, I want it to be a natural message. And that film is fake. Everything about it is not, it's not really authentic. You need to go back and watch it. You got it. There's sometimes I watch films and I wonder if everybody has the same level of accessing authenticity. Because when I watch some of these films, they ooze inauthentic. They ooze just a faux level that you have to just recognize. I don't think Wild Robot's a terrible film, but again, it's not as deeply emotional as you make it out to be. It's just not. And I fall for that stuff. Memoir of a Snail has much more resonance from an emotional standpoint. Okay. Not a contest. Better film. And I never saw Wallace and Gromit because I think isn't that on Netflix? So we don't talk about Netflix movies. In fact, we're already done. Forget I said it. Best motion picture non-English language. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have seen none of these films because I'm behind. The only film that played here at AMC, I believe, was Seed of the Sacred Fig, and I missed it because it was during like I ran out of A-list, so I'm behind this year. So I can't even comment. I can just tell you that Emilia Perez is going to win Oscar. Why? Netflix. Netflix is not going to lose. Netflix has to win something. They spend too much money. They line the pockets. Let me tell you something. It goes on out here, okay? If you don't think that shit happens within awards bodies, go watch Critics' Choice. Watch how many times Emilia Perez wins. Let me just go back to Critics' Choice, and I'm going to hammer Critics' Choice. Used to be a member of Critics' Choice. Critics' Choice, you made the biggest fucking mistake because now I'm going to bury your ass as much as I can. You ready for this Critics' Choice? Let's play some games. You want to play some games tonight? Let's do it. So if you want to talk about how Netflix has lined the pockets of Critics' Choice, it's very simple. They, on site, numerous years, certainly one year when I went, last year I went, they had their post-game, their post-party on site. No one else did, right? Golden Globes have that. I've been to Golden Globes twice. Golden Globes have, every studio has a party in different rooms, right? Some in the restaurant, some on the roof, some in different areas. So when you go to the Golden Globes, which is, by the way, an experience that I honestly was one of the, listen, of all the things I've done here in this town and I've been a part of and had a chance to do, which I'm not really into anymore, right? I've talked about this so many times on the stream because here's the deal. What I do here on this stream and what I'm talking about with a Netflix and a Critics' Choice in bed, this makes me very, very much of a dangerous person. They don't want me around. They don't want me around these fucking events because here's the thing. Neon, as much as I think they actually appreciate some of the things I say, I've just destroyed Anora so much. I've danced on the grave to the point where I understand that it's too much. I get it. I'm not dumb. I fucking understand that shit. But here's the problem. I don't fucking care. So when you don't care what the studios think of you, you're very dangerous because everyone else in the space is beholden to the studios, every single one of them, because they want to go to the early screenings, they want to go to the parties, and if they can't do those things, they feel less of a human being, which is pathetic. But they do. You look at a Gore, right? Gore talks all this shit. Let me tell you something. That dude would never hammer Netflix because he's afraid of not being invited to the open bar. I don't care. I don't want to go. I mean, I get invited to stuff all the time. Just got invited to a big, like, on film, the Kodak Film Awards. And they're like, can you come? I'm like, no, I just don't do that stuff anymore. Occasionally, like, if I went to a party, it'd be because I was going to hang out with my buddy Paul or Britton or something. I'd take them and we just hang out in the back and drink. And I'm not even a drunk, right? I mean, literally, when I say that, I mean 2 Miller Lights. But my point is when you go to these events, I'm no longer awed by it, right? But I go back to the Golden Globes, and you walk into the Golden Globes, and it's at the Beverly Hilton right there in the middle of Beverly Hills. And one of the things they do, and this is, again, from being there, I can talk to you about what this actual experience is like. You walk into the hotel. Well, first of all, I got to tell you this. When the whole Beverly Hilton's right in the middle, it's on Wilshire and Santa Monica, right? Which is major prime Beverly Hills. And what they do is they close off every street with like a gigantic, like, imagine like an asteroid hitting and we're going to block off everything around it. This is like a nuclear strike. Everything around it, you can't get in. They bus you in on a Greyhound and you get dropped off right in front under police escort, and you get off the bus and you walk in. And when you walk in the Golden Globes, you're in the hotel. And when you walk in, there are stars everywhere. Like, they're all going to the pit. Like, Favreau was taking a piss as I was in there. I saw, what's his name? Bezos from Amazon walk by me. He's like 3 feet tall. They walk by, and I'm just like, damn, this is like imagine being at an airport where everybody you see is famous, right? You're just like, there's the boom, everybody, right? Whether it's in the restroom, whether it's down the hall, whether it's obviously in the parties, but every studio has a different party. Like the HFPA has their party right on the side when you first walk in, and they're great. They're engraving the statues in there, the globes. They're doing all that. So there's a lot of energy there. Super awesome, really fun. And then you go to other places like Universal. When it used to have it, NBC Universal, they had it over at the restaurant. I think it's Wolfgang Puck's restaurant next door at the Waldorf. So I was in there, and like there was Adam Driver, Charlize Theron. This was back when Black Klansman was out. So you had all that crowd there. That was obviously a Focus film, right? Focus, or was it Universal? I know Black Klansman. I think it's Focus. So Focus is Universal. So you walk around at all these parties, and it's really amazing. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Even though some of you might hate Hollywood, if you went to the Golden Globes, if I took you and we hung out, you'd be like, this is cool. You would. You just, even if you hate Hollywood, you'd be like, this is still pretty cool. Because there's so much energy and everyone's so excited. That was the year of Parasite when I was there in 2019, and it was just off the charts. 1917 was there. I saw McKay. I got a shot with him at the bar. That's when I took selfies. I don't do that anymore. Now the celebrities come up and say, you're Eric Weber. That's how do I need to tell the story? Do I need to do it again, guys? I'll do it. I have to do it because whenever I say that, you all go, oh, Weber's talking. Let me just do it quickly. When I went to go see a screening of Armageddon Time, which is not a great film, I sit down. I'd just been at the gym. I had my tights on. I think I had a hoodie. I looked like shit. I sat down in the back row, and I'm getting ready for Armageddon Time, which I love Gray, but this film doesn't deliver. It's not Ad Astra. And I'm sitting there, and there's a gentleman the 2 seats down from me. And by the way, he knows this happens. So if you run into him, ask him. And he goes, hey, you're Eric Weber. And I go, yes. And he goes, and he had a mask on because that was when everyone was doing the COVID thing and the mask. And he goes, Matt Reeves. And I go, what? I go, that's so cool. He goes, you're the guy who talks about box office and stuff all the time. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, you knew it, Matt. So do you see, this is where I'm at. Listen, I know this. I know a lot of people like the show who are in this town because I go off on stuff they want to go off on. And they also know I'm authentic. In this town, there's no one that is. This town is full of phonies, full of fakes, full of people that you're just like, what? I'm not like that. You guys know what you're getting here tonight is exactly what you get when I'm out. It's the same thing. Probably a little lower key because I'm just like kind of chill. I'm actually more introverted, which is kind of weird. You probably don't believe that, but it's true. So when you watch any kind of movie in public, it's always kind of interesting to see obviously who's there. And then also, I also take notes on the crowd reaction. They go back to an Armageddon Time and you watch it and you just go, crowd's not really into this. And I wasn't either, but you can also tell. Now, Anora was one of those weird experiences. I saw it at the AMC. AMC crowd is a little different because those people are like all film nerds. So they all get all geek. Oh, it's Sean Baker. Let's glaze him. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just watch the movie, everybody. Settle down. Same thing with Civil War. Same thing happened. And so that was a raucous, like they're laughing. I'm like, are you guys all on crack? What the hell? Hold on. Why are you laughing? What's funny? I don't understand. Am I missing joke? No, because it's not funny, right? That scene, don't make me play. You know what? Screw you guys. I'm going to play it right now because this is what I get to do. This is my stream. I will not be stopped by any kind of studio copyrights or anything. It's live and I'm going to play it for you right now. You guys ready? This is the scene. If you haven't seen Anora, this is the scene where I knew I was going to be in absolute hell for almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? Get ready. Here it comes. This is just the beginning. This thing goes on for let's just watch just a few seconds of it. You guys ready? Here it comes. This is Ivan runs away from Anora. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here on this Sunday night, this live, as always, post-game show. This is when I knew I was just fucked watching Anora. Get ready. Have fun with this clip.
Where we are not getting a divorce because you tell us to go fuck yourself.
Oh, count the fucks. I know it's terrible. People are leaving the stream. I don't blame you. I would leave. I can't believe there's anybody watching right now. I would leave. I'd be like, I'm not watching this shit. Exactly, Lizzie. This is like knives in my skin. That's how it feels. By the way, the scene you're watching goes on for another 20 minutes. She gets tied up and put on the couch with tape in her mouth, and then they bitch and yell. They try to get him on the phone. And the guy finally shows up. He's yelling. This is terrible. Guys, this is fucking terrible. I mean, this is not even up for debate. Let's talk about a few more here of these. And then I'm going to tell you, someone wants to hear I'll do it. If you guys want to hear the Elizabeth Olsen story, I'll tell you, just give me a second. That was also the Beverly Hilton, by the way, to tie it all together. The Elizabeth Olsen story was all time. One of my favorite moments. Best performance by a female actor, by an actress in a motion picture drama goes to Fernanda Torres. Again, I'm still here, have not seen, so it's hard for me to comment. I can tell you this, I haven't seen Maria. Didn't see Lee. But Kate Winslet, that film, I don't know, she's not going to get an Oscar. Nobody saw Lee. They trying to make it a thing. Nobody cares about Lee. Baby Girl, which I still haven't watched. I'm terrible with this one. The only 2 performances I've seen out of this entire thing, Pamela Anderson, Last Showgirl, it's fine, and Tilda Swinton, Room Next Door. talk about a melodramatic film. Ooh. Pedro's made some good films. This is not one of them. Okay, so she's there because of name, right? Tilda Swinton. She's so great, and she is. She's better than Julianne Moore, but the film's not good. It's, man, do not watch that's a film I don't even recommend you check out at all, along with Anora. But Room Next Door. By the way, what's up with that picture of Adrian Brody? Has that thing been photoshopped or shit? Look, that's not what he looks like. How old is this picture? He has like no wrinkles. He looks like he's 28. He's like 50 something, right? Adrian Brody wins. He should win. We talked about that. Coleman Domingo, Daniel Craig, Queer, a film. I like Queer. Luca, hell of a director. Reznor Ross, hell yeah, winning for Challengers. But it's really inaccessible for a lot of people. Not because it's a gay film, not because there's a lot of gay. It's because, trust me, if you set through great, you're like, Queer takes a lot of energy to get through because you're just going to be tested. It's not an easy film to watch. Again, not because of the gay sex. It just, you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And then you've got Conclave, overrated film, very much so. And we know that's virtue signaling at a level, right? We know that. We know what the film's got going on. And you remember, Hollywood loves to virtue signal, so let's give it that. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice, one of the best performances of the year. It's nice to see him win for A Different Man. His better performance is definitely The Apprentice, though. A Different Man is very, and listen, he's playing a guy who was deformed and then all of a sudden looks like a model. Get it. But the film is good. Listen, I like A Different Man, and then all of a sudden it goes off the rails and it turns into a Kaufman film. And at that point, I go, I don't like this film. Okay, and that's A24. You either going to go with it or you don't. I did not go with A Different Man. I don't hate the film. I think it's one of A24's better films this year because it's been such a bad year. But other than that, I mean, I really can't say much more about Different Man other than I'd rather you pay attention to Sebastian Stan's performance in The Apprentice. Chalamet is deserving to be there, okay? But of those, I'm taking Brody. Brody's the best pick there. And then musical or comedy actress is Demi Moore, which is thrilling, right? Of course, we talked about that off the top of the stream. The fact that she won is really the most, crucial moment for me. Listen, I mean, does this stuff change my life? No. But when I see her win, the story is really strong here. I think more so than even Brendan Fraser, right? You're talking about an actress that no one discusses anymore. She was the darling of Hollywood in the 80s, 90s, as we know, even in the 2000s. And then once you become 40, 50 years old in this town, as an actress, you're done, okay? And that's why this film is that next level, because it plays as this, as she said, bonkers, bad shit film, but you also have that deeper feeling of loss of relevance, right? She doesn't feel like she fits in. She doesn't feel like she matters. She gets cut off of her yoga show, and it's the workout or Jane Fonda thing's done, and we're bringing in the younger version. That's exactly how this town operates, okay? Here's Sydney Sweeney. Let's boot out Meg Ryan. Whatever you want to say, right? Meg Ryan probably didn't do any favors by doing so much to her face. No question. Listen, as you get older, can I just say this, female or male, don't fuck your face up. Do not go get, like I see guys at the gym where they get their their faces are peeled back. What is that called? The face where they pull it back and they look like Nosferatu with the mustache. By the way, thank you for, I'd like some love for the Nosferatu mustache I have now. But when you look right with the facelift, it's like this. There's a guy at the gym, he comes in like this. He looks like Mickey Rourke. By the way, I saw Mickey Rourke at my gym and this is how Mickey Rourke looked. Don't do that. Do not pull your skin back. It's fucking weird. Women or men. It goes by. I just made fun of a dude. Don't do it. So Meg Ryan did the trout mouth, right? It's just, sorry. Weber's being mean. How dare you? Weber should make a Netflix exception for his 3 daughters. She's in it. So, of course. Okay, I'll just quickly. This is going to be the shortest version of the Elizabeth Olsen story ever that I've ever told. This is going to be like 5 seconds. You guys, see if I can do it in 5 seconds. I went to a party for Wind River. She was there. She was drop dead gorgeous. And she was kind of checking me. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't make shit up, man. I don't have time for this shit. She was kind of, and I got up to her and she goes, oh, Robert Downey Jr.'s doppelganger. I go, what? Nope. Guys, I don't make shit up. Go ask her. If anyone runs into Elizabeth Olsen, you ask her if she said that. She said it. And then we started talking about Marlene, but whatever, because I like that film. And this is our conversation. I don't know if the quick conversation was, we talked about, is it real or in her head? And I thought it was real. And she agreed with me. And at that moment, I thought that we had something that would last forever. But it didn't. But it was a moment. Now, she is an actress. But I just want to say that no one in this town that I've ever seen has ever come close to the jaw-dropping beauty. Literally, your heart, like, oh God, I just think I just fell over. Elizabeth Olsen, drop dead gorgeous. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you. or perhaps not into women. But I can tell you this, from my perspective, I was like, damn, this is it. This is my moment in life. All right, that's it. I told it. That was maybe a minute. Was it a minute? That was pretty fast. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, comedy, or musical. Sebastian Stan wins. We talked about that. I like Jesse Eisenberg. Probably not to win here. I do love the nomination of Jesse Plemons. Listen, Kinds of Kindness, one of my... listen, it wasn't in my top 10. It's a film that I really liked. I like Kinds of Kindness. It's a weird film. It's more accessible than Poor Things. And I know you're like, oh, well, he's eating this. Listen, the story's a little goofy. I get it. The cannibalism thing. But listen, overall, there's more things that interest me in that film than Poor Things. Because anytime you get an anthology, we don't just get one, we get 3 stories. Was it 3 or 4? 3, right? And you go back to French Dispatch, same thing. When you get different options, even if you don't like option A, I at least maybe in B or C, you're gonna get something good. In Anora, you get option A and you're screwed. There's no if trust me, if it was an anthology and I got one Anora for like 20 minutes, this film was okay. But the fact that it goes on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, I wish there were 5 parts to Anora and Anora was 1 part and it was the 10 minutes of the beginning. That's it. The opening, and then the film changes to something else. That's how bad that film is. Hugh Grant, Heretic. I mean, Heretic's overrated. I think for overall, I've just seen that film done so much better. It's got a lot of Barbarian in it. When, of course, Barbarian has a lot of Don't Breathe in it. So listen, so many films borrow stuff from everything, right? You've seen it a million times. So, but Heretic did nothing for me aside from his performance, and some of his speeches were good, but some of the dialogue in that thing about the Burger King Taco Bell, that's some bad shit, man. I mean, I still think their best film is that one where it takes place at a carnival. The 2 guys, Beck and Woods. I forget the name of it. It takes place in a carnival, and it's very much like the Funhouse, the Tobe Hooper movie. But that's better than Heretic. I know I'm the only person who'll say that, but that's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah, Nora does look like a bad off Broadway play, 100%. Who's playing it young and real? I don't know. Okay, hold on. More. Let's continue, and then we'll go to more comments here. Again, Amelia Perez winning for supporting. I can't even comment. Haven't seen it. Of these, listen, it wasn't a great year for supporting. I mean, Ariana Grande, I think, does an admirable job. I think she's fine. I think she's solid. She's not that next level, right? Ariana Grande is just, she needed to, like, I know her character, but I wanted to see her like not tighten up so much, right? She's tight because she's not an actress. She's trying to become one, but let's just be honest with each other. She doesn't have the experience, right? So go back, watch my streams from when I first started back in 2022. You'll see it's not the same. Why? Because I'm more comfortable now. I've done it more. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. That's a big difference, right? I mean, it was still okay, but that's what Ari Grande is going to do. You're going to see her, even in 2, you're going to see her open up more because she's not as nervous. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody who can just completely have no inhibitions and just do the scene and not worry about how they're being perceived. And I think that's very difficult, right? I mean, look, a lot of people try to do this live thing, and I'm not saying I'm better than all of them, but I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty much that's true. But the reality is, because when I'm doing this, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. I'm not overthinking it, right? I've said things on here that would get me canceled in some places, right? Like the whole DEI speech I give all the time. I'm a big anti-DEI guy, not because I'm against diversity. I'm against anybody not earning something from merit standpoint. I'm a merit-based person. That's the reality. But you understand that in this town, for me to say that instantly DQs me from a lot of things. Too bad, because I didn't say I don't want to hire someone who's black, a woman. That's not what I'm saying. I said I want to hire the best person. And if that person happens to be X, Y, or Z, so be it. Okay? That can be white. Good. That can be black. Good. Are they a woman? Good. Don't care. Are they of merit? We're not filling quotas here. And I've never evaluated a film based on quotas. I've never said a film is great because it's a female director. I've never tried to get someone in because it's a female. You go back to Handling the Undead, a film that's directed by a woman. That's not, by the way, my top 2 films this year directed by a woman. But guess what? That meant 0% in the evaluation. 0. Forja, and you go back to Handling the Undead, the director, I'm forgetting her name. When you look at those 2 films, female directors, but that didn't even move my number, right? The evaluation was not moved at all, 0%, by the fact it was a woman. The problem is this space is full of people who are going to start doing that. We're going to compensate. We're going to say, this is great. It's directed by a woman. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's great. Stop. Don't say another word. It's great. I'm not, see, that makes me different than everybody right there, right? Very objective, very merit based. And when you're that guy, you're better than everybody else because just by default, forget the talent. By default, I'm better objective evaluator of film because I am objective, because I am basing it on merit. I'm not basing it on legacy. I'm not basing it on DEI. I'm not basing it on color of someone's skin or what box they check. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Why does it matter? It shouldn't matter. It's the performance we're talking about. I'm not talking about it's a woman. You guys, I know I'm right. You guys know I'm right. When I say that, you're like, he's right. Of course I'm right. What? How else do you look at it? You don't look at it that way. It was naturally occurring that the top 2 films on MMT this year are directed by women. Okay? You understand that shit? It's not hard. Okay? If it was 2 white guys, naturally occurring. You understand that? Good. I'm glad we're on the same page. Do not question that. Do not ever question my motivations. I do not. Oh, otherwise, I'm like, whoa, wait a second. He should like Anora. It's directed by a white guy. I fucking hate Anora. I don't care. It's directed by I don't care if it's directed by a woman. I would say the exact same thing about Anora. Do you understand? Yeah, that's the difference between me. I'm real. I'm fucking real. These other people are phony ass bitches. Not only that, they're not talented because they say what they're supposed to say. And they also don't really know what they're talking about. Let's just be factual. Not everybody has taste. Okay? Clearly, you look at some of the things that are popular, and it should tell you that you should question what people think is funny, smart, solid, great. Okay? So don't pretend that everybody who has an opinion in the film space is talented. That's a big fucking mistake. That you should not do that. You should listen to them and then decide, do they know what they're talking about? Do you agree with some of their points? Even if you like the film, can you see how the middle section of Anora is like getting drawn and quartered? You guys understand that? It's there. You know I'm right. Even you're like, yeah, you're right. He's right. It's terrible. Well, yeah, exactly. And the more you listen, you go, that's right. He's right. Because I've never missed. Never. None of the evaluations ever missed. I mean, because the key is I'm always in the right mood to watch the movie. You have to be. Otherwise, I'm not going to watch it. That's why I don't go to film festivals. I'm not in the right mood. I don't want to be there. I don't want to see these people. I don't want to see half of film Twitter. No, let me change that. I want to see 99% of film Twitter. I don't even I don't go to the critic screen anymore. I have to go in and see these people, these bloviating bitches. I mean, good Lord. I've said a million times, you walk into a critic screen and you look around and go, damn, man, if I'm at a bar, I'm pulling all the ass. You all going home to fucking porn. Every time I walk in, I go, damn, have some respect for yourself, you guys. Sorry, I got to say what's true. It's true. It's 100% true. Seriously. I mean, literally. Why do you think half of them are covered by avatars? They're embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed. I'd cover myself up by an avatar too, for fuck's sake. Like, here's a cartoon version of me that doesn't look like Jabba the Hutt. Whoever's so fucking vicious, dude. But it's fair. But it's fucking fair. Does Nickel Boy cinematographer have a black perspective impact decisions he made shooting the movie? You know, listen, you jerk. Here. I'm not even, but that's not entering my mind. Do you understand? I'm looking at Nickel Boys, and I love Nickel Boys, one of the best films of the year. I love how the film's shot, period. Okay? So, I don't want to start, if I start going into these evaluations thinking it's a black cinematographer, it's a female director, this is a first-time director. Do you understand? I'm instantly carrying biases in. Why would I do that? I don't want to do that. So, it doesn't even enter the conversation. You know, we can discuss that after, but it's still not something I want to discuss. I want to discuss quality. Okay. I want to discuss merit. I want to discuss talent. I don't want to discuss the color of someone's skin. Why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense. I'm going to say you're good regardless of the color of your skin because you're good. This is not hard, man. Why are you making it so hard? It's not. So stop doing it. I don't do it. You shouldn't do it. Okay? That's why whenever you listen to me, I always tell you guys that I am always objective because it's true. I have never gone in, hiring the cinematographer. Yeah, I mean, yes. Okay, fine. If that's your thing, I get it. But I'm not going to hire a cinematographer who doesn't have talent. I don't care what you get it, right, jerk? Okay, if that's what you mean, Gone Girl, thanks for Gone Girl's here, so now we're gonna get some comments. Gone Girl, bring up Steve's super chat if you can, because I owe you a super chat from this morning. I didn't get to it, and I want to say thank you, by the way, first of all, and second of all, if I miss it, you come in with a free one, so you're good. Okay. For those of you who don't super chat, I love you too. It doesn't matter, whichever way. I do the stream because I enjoy it. I like riffing on this stuff. I enjoy talking about films, and I enjoy being completely unvarnished. And if you appreciate that, then hopefully you like MMT. If you don't, then you probably don't like people who are real and say things that maybe conflict with what you believe. And then you go, wait a second, maybe I can see this. Glad to Me won. Glad Challengers won score. Glad Wicked won something. Ariana to win, but Zoe too. Go MMT. Haven't watched Shogun yet. Guess I have to now. Got to watch Brutalist, no question. Bring my adult diaper. Listen, this Complete Unknown, very good. Steve, 100%. All these are great. Let me tell you about Brutalist again. Bringing it back to Brutalist again. The fact that it won tonight, applause for the HFPA, because this was a great call. It's the greatest cinematic achievement this year. It is. Okay. Substance is right there. But I think just because of the scale of the Brutalist is bigger, so I'm gonna give the edge, but my favorite film is Substance. You guys understand? Best Picture in my favorite film, they're not quite the same. There's a little bit of wiggle there. So when you look at Brutalist, when it comes to you, it's 3 hours long. There is an intermission. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. If you can watch this film in a recliner like I did up at the 8 here in Burbank, there was an option to watch it in 70 millimeter. And I typically like that. I went in and watched a little bit of the other day just to see. It looks good. I'm not going to lie. 70 millimeters awesome. The fact we have it here, especially at AMC, this is why LA rules. We're the #1 film location in the entire world for a reason, right? You look at the theaters we have here, all of the formats that we have, that AMC complex is the best anywhere you're going to find, between Dolby, the IMAX, and you also have the Prime. Kicks ass. Prime's amazing. But here's what, going back to Brutalist, if you can get it in a recliner, I say you forego the 70 millimeter, because it's 3.5 hours long. And I'm telling you, I enjoyed every second of it because I was in the recliner, because the film it demands stamina, right? So if you're comfortable in your full-on recliner at the 8, like I was, you're going to enjoy the movie a little bit more. When you're crammed into a regular seat watching 70 millimeter, you might enjoy the look of it. And I get it. As a film nut, I understand why you're doing it. I'm telling you, I would make the compromise for the 70 millimeter to go to the recliner. That's my advice. You can take it or not, your call. Yes, we did. Harrison, great week, right? The Buckeyes win. They're looking like the best team in the playoffs, and Anora did not win. Harrison, give him a gold star, Gone Girl. This is a great comment, because yes, the Buckeyes are going to win the national title, and Anora is going to win nothing at the Oscars. If it doesn't win screenplay, that'll make me more than that. That's enough right there. The fact that it's even considered for original screenplay, I don't care. I'm not nominated for anything, of course, as you guys know. Not the Russian guy. Not anything. The only thing I'd nominate it for is the best opening song. Is that a category? It's not, so I can nominate, right? And I'm going to play the song before we leave, because I do love the song, and I think I still have it saved here because I love it so much. I like to play it. I'll play it before it's over. Anora's the most overhyped. Thank you. Shay, I said of the century. I didn't just say this decade. I'm going to go with the century, okay? It was just crazy, right? I'm going all the way back to 2000, and I'm telling you, no film has been more overrated than this. Joker 2, listen, RP Steady. I'm a huge Joker 2 fan. You were talking about the only one. So the joke about Joker 2 tonight did not make me happy, right? I did think it was funny when she said some people complained about the sound and the pictures that accompanied the sound. It was great. That was a funny joke, and it's not here. But Joker 2's, again, cinema, one of the best films of the year. It's in our top 10. It's better than Anora. I'm telling you, man, I'm just letting you know. If I made Anora and I made Joker 2, and I was like, if I was like a director and they asked me which, I'd be like, holy shit, I'd be so embarrassed if Anora was my film. I would like hide my head. I would just like, I didn't write this. Ghostwriter. What do we have? Pen name. But Joker, I know a lot of you don't like it. Well, I'm just telling you, Todd doesn't have to do what you want with the character. He can have him killed off at the end. It's over. So be it. Why do you... Nihilistic. I love it. I love a film like that. I've told you a million times, I'd rather watch a film that ends with, a gut punch than something that we expect. Okay. So often we see these things that end with the buttoned up ending, and you're like, oh God, I knew that was coming. I want to watch something different. Substance, great example, right? It goes crazy. Gone Girl's not a fan of the finish, and I understand why, but I will tell you that, remember, I go back to Substance and I talk about Parasite too. You're watching a film and you're high, 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 high. I dipped, right? When you start to go into that crazy violence and her going down to the New Year's Eve thing and all that, it's out of control. But so I dip, right? So if you have one of those like monitors, sensors all over me, they're like, oh, he doesn't like this. Then what happened? Just like Parasite, right? We devolve into violence. I'm like, I'm not sure if I like this. I'm going like this down. And then all of a sudden, right, we pull up and it's literally like a moonshot up. So you go to Parasite and you get dad in the house in the lights and you're like, oh my God, that's so good. And then you go and you look at Substance, her ending up creature on the star, and you go, oh my God, that's great. So, right. So the endings are perfection. So you pull out of any kind of negativity you had and you finish on a high note. I think, listen, you can have a film that it rides the top and then all of a sudden dips and comes back up. And these are two films that are good examples of that for me, Parasite and Substance. But these are both great films, and I would argue masterpieces, right? We don't have many masterpieces. We have Tar of the last several years. Listen, I still think 2022 is going to be one of the best years that we've seen in a very long time, because you had Tar, Decision to Leave, After Sun, you had the Bowie doc, you had the Batman in there. If you want to talk about a great comic book movie in the grand scheme of comic book movies, the Batman's cinema, right? We can no doubt. Matt Reeves, we go back and you talk about the Vampire remake, right? You go back and you look at, what the hell was that called? You guys know I only talk about it a million times on this. When I watch that, and I still think it's better than the original, right? Let Me In. When you watch Let Me In, it comes eventually. You got to remember, dude, I'm trying. This is live, man. I'm not Jeremy Johns reading off a teleprompter and doing lines and doing 1,000 edits. I'm not doing that shit. Okay. I don't have someone else on here like Alan or Dante or whoever's on Chris's stream now. Because if I was on that stream and be like, Chris is bad, I would make him look terrible. He listen, if you're not that good, you don't want people around you that are good, because you look worse. You guys understand that, right? So when I show up, they're like, nah, we can't have him on. He's going to make us look bad. Well, of course I am, because I'm good. But I'm also objective. I can't go on an anti-woke stream because they're going to be like, wait a second, he's not saying everything that's woke is terrible. That's not right. We can't have that, right? So you're not going to be able to box me. You can't. Every time you think that you've gotten this, like, nope, because like someone said the other day, I never know what you're going to say, because that's objective, because I do not allow my biases. We all have biases, right? We all do. Okay. But I don't allow any kind of bias to enter my object. I always ask myself in the moment when I'm watching a film, I always say to myself, am I being fair to the film? Is this really how I feel? And let me think about it for a second. And then I go, that's it. Yes. Right. It takes me a second. Like, as soon as the movie's over, sometimes I already know, like, way before the movie's over, this is done. Like, Anora was so early in this. I go, this is fucking, my God, this is a nosedive. We're not pulling out of this. So when you go in with that, always being open to the flexible nature of the evaluation within the film, until you finally come down with that verdict right at the end. Sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's late. Substance, as I mentioned, that's a late, even though it was I still would recommend the film, but the finish is just right, 100%. I remember when the Hot Women Gore had on last year, wanted you on, Eric. They thought, well, listen, I didn't know that in Mega Swiper, but it wouldn't surprise me. He can't have me on anymore because I drag him all the time. Because you know why? He's lost. Listen, Chris Gore has lost any kind of credibility, and I have credibility. Listen, people can say whatever they want. Weber has credibility. I have credibility, and trust me, the studios know it. Okay. Some directors know it, and the fans know it. Whoever, even if it's 5, they know I have credibility because I come on here and I'm fair. Even though I play rough, I'm fair, and then it's time to play rough and I go nasty. It is what it is. It's not going to change. This is not going to change. This channel and this show and what I do is never going to change. It's how I approach it. So if it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not going to change, man. I don't worry about how I'm perceived by others. That's not even a consideration for me. Because as long as I'm not doing something terrible, like me telling you Sean Baker's the most overrated writer in Hollywood, that doesn't make me a bad person, does it? I don't think so. I mean, is it hard? Is it aggressive? Is it more than almost anyone would say? Yes. Because remember, once I start saying things like that, you are going to be blacklisted from studios. They're going to say you can't come to our screenings because you just went too far. I go back, and you want to talk about the measure of how I know these people are fully aware of what I talk about. Everything Everywhere. I know from an inside source that the Daniels were not happy with how hard I went on that film because I was leading the charge of this is an overrated film from literally day one. Okay. And that did not sit well with them. I understand this. I'm not going to tell you that me constantly saying if Anora wins nothing, we're going to celebrate outside the AMC. We're going to party tonight. I get that. I get that is over the line for a lot. For a typical journalist, it's way over the line. Variety, I couldn't work for. Deadline, because it's too aggressive. It's too much. The studios are not going to like that. But what you have to appreciate is the next film by Sean Baker. If it's great, I'm going to tell you it's great. Look no further than what we just saw with Kinds of Kindness, right? Look no further. I destroyed Poor Things, and I turn around and tell you, go back and watch the stream. Kinds of Kindness is a very good film. I enjoyed so much of it. So you look at that, the ability to wipe the slate clean, forget about the past, and go in and be objective again. When the Daniels have their next film with Universal, I will go in and say, this is great or this is terrible based on that film, not based on Everything Everywhere. You guys understand that? That's what I do better than anybody in the space. It's not a contest. It's a fucking knockout every single time. Which is better, Brutalist or The Master? You know what's jerk? I got to tell you, when you watch The Brutalist, you're really, really, really going to feel The Master. Okay. Now, that said, The Master is a better film. I believe The Master is PTA's best film. I mean, listen, I saw The Master before it opened in Boston at a press screening in 70 millimeter. And I remember, I will never forget some of those shots. I will never forget being in that theater watching The Master. You're talking about two performances in that film that are two of the greatest of all time, and the way that they intertwine and the way each of them lift one another. Here's what I'm going to say. There's no question. I'm 100% right about this. Philip Seymour Hoffman is 1,000 times better than Guy Pearce. Okay. So right there, even if I were to tell you Joaquin and Adrian are equal, which I think is fair. Okay. I think Joaquin's listen, he's so good in that film with the snarl and all that shit. He's just violent. That whole, oh my God, I love that film. But it's a great comparison because it's 100% accurate. But when you look at Guy Pearce, he's playing a caricature of a rich guy. It's not great. I'm not a fan of that role. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's at a level. It's definitely not Philip Seymour Hoffman in The Master. No way. No way. So right there, you already have a better performance, right? Two performances up here. Then you have PTA's direction. You've got the 70 millimeter, the same thing, right? That we're dealing with the VistaVision essentially. So you're looking at, The Master's, again, that's next level. That's a masterpiece. Brutalist is, I think it's got the first half's better than the second. But again, I just want to draw back to the cinematic achievement of this. Whenever you create a film, go back to Tar, and you're talking about a fictional character that maybe you don't know, because a lot of people didn't know. Lydia Tarr's not real, right? Well, in this movie, Zaslav, whatever his name is, Zaslav, I believe. He's not real, okay? So when you watch the film, even the finish, you're like, oh, this is based, oh, it's not. That's the mark of a great direction, story, right? In world building, in production design, all of that filters through the direction essentially on Brutalist and also PTA's work, obviously. And I think there's a lot of PTA in Brady Corbet, and certainly in Brutalist and Master. These are very much comparable films, right? If we're talking about an NFL draft prospect, you're talking about two mobile quarterbacks, right? You're talking about two pocket quarterbacks. Whatever it is, they're very comparable. It's fair to put them head to head. And yes, unfortunately, I got to tell you, without question, no, The Master's a better film. But nowadays, considering the shit that I'm sitting through, The Brutalist is essential viewing. Essential. Okay, a few more, and then we'll get to open comments here, and I'm going to play the song from Anora because I love it. And then I can't go forever, guys. I'm already over an hour. Do you see anybody else here? Is there any? I'm sorry. Nope, there's nobody here. Oh, well, I'm sorry. My bad, guys. That'd be my fault. The Gray Man popcorn box is here. So there are two of us here tonight. You've got Gosling from the premiere. Remember, this is where it all went to hell for me and Netflix. When I went to see the Gray Man premiere, they invited me. I just want to make mention that, listen, please listen to me. This is very important. This is another story about who I am. Who is Eric Weber as a person? When I went to see the Gray Man, I was there, and Menzel and I walked in, okay? And we got there, and it was at the Chinese theater. And I'm there, and I'm thinking to myself, this is fun. You know, I'm excited to see this. It's a big time budget. You've got Gosling. I love Ryan Gosling. I'm looking forward to Russo brothers at that time. I didn't hate. I mean, sure, he wasn't great, but I still was like, okay. So I go watch The Gray Man, and I'm walking in. I've told the story. If you haven't heard it, it's fantastic. So I'm walking in, and they go, yes, Scott, you're going to go this way. And Eric, you're going to go that way. So I go, okay, I'm going this way. Okay, fine. Scott goes out to the red carpet. I go directly into the theater where there's like 3 people in the theater, and I get to watch everybody having fun out on the street, drinking at the open bar, and I'm in the theater all by myself, the gigantic like 2,000 seat Chinese theater, watching everybody have fun on the big screen. But I want to let you know something. The fact that Netflix did not let me go to the red carpet, they said, you're not worthy. I did not hold it against them. It entered 0% into the evaluation of the shit film that is The Gray Man, one of the worst directed films I've ever seen. From an editing standpoint, as chaotic as anything you'll ever watch. And I came out of that film, and I think the stream's still up, right? Go back and watch. Go back and watch the Gray Man reaction stream. I was violently ill after that film, and Netflix knew it. I mean, I trashed that film so hard. I went Anora hard on it. That was like the first film I just gutted. And Gray Man and Netflix, that was the beginning and the end. And now they don't have theatrical, so I don't care. But I just want you to know, Netflix, the fact that you didn't let me come out and have a drink with everybody that you thought was worthy, I didn't hold that against you. I still sat there and watched the movie and was embarrassed for you as I watched it. But again, the fact I didn't get a vodka tonic, it's okay. But that's not what the problem was. Guy Pearce, no, I mean, no question. Amy Adams is definitely better than Felicity Jones. A great call in emotion, 100% on that. You forget about Amy Adams in that film. Oh yeah, no question. All this is right. Yeah, you got all 3. And again, PTA's best film in my estimation. So what are we talking about, right? Okay, let's go to a few more of these, and we're done. We're only doing film. I don't talk about television. I have no interest. Kieran Culkin winning is the 100% correct pick. One of the best performances of the year, let alone best supporting, best performances, period. Therefore, you have to pick him, and he is 100% your winner. That was awesome to see. Best director, Corbet. I would agree. I would put Forja right there as well. And then, obviously Sean Baker doesn't even belong here. It should have been James Mangold. James Mangold directs the shit out of a complete unknown. He deserves to be here way more than Baker. And that's a crime. It's a crime that he's not nominated. And listen, Mangold and I have had issues. I go back to Twitter, go back and look. I was making fun of Wolverine's hair in Logan, and he came after me with some like personal shit. And I don't even care. Do you see? This is what I'm talking about. Do you see? This is what I'm talking about. Is that a director who was a dick to me on Twitter, I just said he had one of the best directed films of the year. That's what makes me me. Even if Eric Davis, the biggest show on the planet, right, along with Soups, did something great, I would say it's great because that's who I am. I'm not going to say, because it's, and same thing, like, listen, I go back to Gore. Listen, you got to, next time, ask Gore. Someone on his next stream, go ahead and ask it. Send a super chat. Say, is Eric a good film critic? If he says no, he's lying because he's only said that about. He says you're like the best I've ever seen. He's 100% said that 100 times. But see, here's the deal. If I said that about Gore, I never said that about Gore. I wouldn't say that because I don't think he's that good. He was drunk half the time. How do you evaluate a film drunk? That's not even professional, right? And I understand you guys are going to say, well, what's professional? It's a film. It doesn't matter. Are you being fair to the director if you're drunk watching the film? Answer me, yes or no. Everybody, come on in. Yeah, exactly. You're not. So if I'm high, I need to be fair to every film I go into, whether it is Sonic 3, which I'm not going to see, but let's say it's Sonic 3 or it's The Brutalist. I'm going to go in with the mindset I'm going to like the film. I'm going to go in saying I want to have this film succeed. If it doesn't, why am I going to, you see, this is called evaluating from an objective standpoint. And I'm never going to, and that means I can't walk in drunk, right? If I'm drunk, am I in the right state of mind? No. You might laugh at shit you wouldn't normally laugh at. You might be annoyed at stuff you wouldn't normally be annoyed at. Do you understand? Because it heightens your emotions, right? Everybody knows that. God, man, if you would have seen me in my fraternity days back at Ohio State, I was a fucking alcoholic, man. I was dancing on stages and shit. I remember one time I was down at Kappa Sig at Ohio State. We had this awesome house. Weber's a frat boy. Yeah, but I was like the anti. Everyone knew. I was just like I did my own fucking thing always. You know why I joined a frat? To get chicks. That's why. Why? At least I'm honest. And then we got a lot of good looking girls. So here's the deal. Whatever. I wasn't a dick. We didn't do anything bad. We drank. I didn't do anything bad. So here's the deal. So you go back, and I remember being in Kappa Sig basement, and I was always wanting to play the DJ, right? I always wanted to have the music. That's me, right? I'll play my music here. I still do it here. And I remember playing music, and I was dancing on one of those collapsible tables, the card table things, the flip up, you go to a bingo or not, whatever, right? And I was dancing, and the motherfucking leg came out, and I went wham, bam, bam. And I hit that floor hard. It's like this tile floor. I was like, and I was so fucking drunk. I had like peppermint schnapps. I had like a bottle, and I was on the floor just going, yeah. And I was so, dude, I can't believe I didn't break every bone in my body. I was a total idiot. Okay. In college, anybody who knows me, they'd be like, all these stories are true about Weber. He was a fool. I remember we used to drink Mad Dog. Yeah, the Mad Dog Kiwi, right? The green. Oh, let me tell you, a whole bottle of that motherfucker. I would drink it. And then I still remember we had this thing called the Kessler Club. All my boys from Kappa Sig watching, if they're like, what happened to Weber? Listen to this story. We had the Kessler Club. Kessler's a shit whiskey. But instead, the Kessler Club met. It was like 10 of us. I know this sounds like, it's not that shady, dude. Trust me. We're outside. There's an abandoned house next to our place. It was like run down shit. Like now there'd be a bunch of homeless people in there, but not then. So do you see the stuff I say that gets me in trouble? Oh, you're just so cold-hearted, Weber. We took the bottle of Mad Dog and we smashed it against the bricks. We were idiots. I was 20 years old. I wasn't fool. You know what I mean? 19, whatever. So please, yep. I was spitting on the ones and twos, no question about it. So listen, I'm not telling you not to have a drink. I'm just telling you I don't get drunk when I watch a movie. I have not watched a film drunk in years. I mean, last time was college. So that's forever. So now that I'm in this space, I've never watched a film drunk. Anytime we watch a movie at those award screenings, the party's typically after. Even if it's before, I have like a Diet Coke. I don't want to be, again, I want to watch the film as it's intended, how I want my emotions to be, not drunk. After the film, yeah, sure, I had a vodka tonic or two up at the hills at the Ross house. So what? But the film's over, okay? And then, of course, I sobered up. 2 drinks for me is nothing, dude. That's it. I don't go, dur, dur, dur. That was me in college. And I wasn't driving, by the way. Everyone's like, well, he's a drunk driver. We walked from the fraternity house down to the bars and walked back. In fact, I'm alive tonight is really a miracle. I'm going to be honest. I mean, dude, we walk in Ohio State's got some bad areas nearby, and I'd be walking down the street like in this bad area going, yeah, motherfuckers, it's Friday night. Like, how did I end up here tonight? I don't know. I sometimes think I'm actually living in like a fantasy land and it's not real because I didn't make it out of college. Just letting you know, if it's true, this is why you're watching what you're watching. It's why it's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. So Corbet wins. Good. Screenplay, Conclave, overrated. Not a fan. Let's see. Only a few more. This has only taken an hour and 20 minutes to get through this. Best original score. We love Reznor Ross, of course. Challenger. You kidding me? One of the best scores. I love anything Reznor Ross. You go back and you look at Atticus Ross and you look at what he did for Book of Eli. We talk about this. No one else does this. No one can do this live like us. Nobody. It's not even a contest. You go back, you look at Book of Eli. I remember watching that film in Orlando, and I remember the song. What's it called? It's got one word like brutalized or hypnotist or what? Hypnotist. I don't know. Anyhow, no, Panorama. Panorama. I think it's called. Oh my God, is it? I might even play it right now. Okay, you know what? Fuck that. It's live. I'll play it. But I remember watching Book of Eli, and I was like, dude, this is some good shit. And guess who it was? It was Atticus Ross. Hold on, let me find it. Let me see if I have it. Yep. Panoramic. Here we go. Listen, let's have a listen to this. Listen to this shit. Hold on. Let me find it. This is I remember watching it, and when I met Atticus Ross, I told him that his score is too good for the Book of Eli. He chuckled. He's like, that's weird. Who's this guy? That's not normal. You guys understand that's not a normal thing to say to somebody? Like, that shows that I know what I'm talking about. If he's watching, he's like, holy shit, here it is. Listen to this. So if you never saw Book of Eli is Denzel Washington, End of the World. Probably where we're headed right now. Let's just be realistic. We're heading towards the Book of Eli. And he's carrying a book in his backpack, getting across like Mad Max, right? And it's got a lot of cool elements. But this song in particular comes up, and I just go, oh. And this is when Reznor Ross were just kind of like starting. Reznor Ross had done Social Network, and was this even before that? What's the year on Book of Eli? Let me see what this is here. you can hear, right? You hear the expanse. You hear, and when I watch Book of Eli, I go, this is better. We talk about how score makes the film better. Right now, when I'm watching Book of Eli, I'm like, yep. And this is the old me who is into film criticism. Because you feel it or you don't. And as soon as I heard this, I go, this is good. I'm glad I got to tell Atticus Ross that his score for this was definitely. I did not watch Red One drunk, Ollie. I didn't. I know I gave it a decent review, which is for a lot of people very hard to even comprehend. There it is. You hear that? That sweep. Hold on one more time. One more time. Listen to it. This is what you can't miss once you get the hook. That, dude, it's so good. The movie's not that good, but back to again. I was an Atticus Ross fan way back. So the fact that he's here with Reznor now makes me very happy that they are the best. Listen, if I'm doing a film and they say, who do you want to do the score here? Who do you want to compose? I'm going to ask for Reznor Ross, but at the same time, I'm going to put an offer out to Michael Levi. Michael Levi is they're both getting offers. Whoever gets back to me first gets the job. I would be so happy with either one. I wouldn't care. Whoever said yes, I would say, listen, I also have Micah interested, but I would get one of them to do it. And then I'd also, if they didn't go, I'd probably work down, even though I think Ludwig might be in that too. Okay, fine. I'll throw Ludwig. Then I would throw in Johnny Greenwood. And then those are the four. I want those four. Okay. And then if I can get one of them, I'll be very happy. But I would, man, Michael Levi. Okay. Michael Levi, what they did with the zone of interest. Oh man, right? That's just good stuff. She's weird. They weird. But I like it. Let me see if I can hold on. Let me play one piece I really love from Michael Levi. I'm sorry, guys. At this point, it's over an hour. Let me do what I want to do. I'm allowed to do what I want to do. It's my stream. You can't stop me. I mean, listen, at this point, you're listening to Michael Levi tracks. Who does this shit? Nobody. Okay, Under the Skin, yes, but I'm gonna go to Monos. Okay, here it is. Let's see if this is the track. I think this might be it. Let's hope there's no ads. Hold on, let me hit it. Okay, so Monos is a foreign language film from Neon from a few years ago, and I saw it in the Rodeo screening room, and I just remember going, I like how this film looked. Monos is cool, but it was the score. I go, here we go. Right? It's different. It's very much of a singular composition. So when I'm watching Monos, I'm like, who did this? Michael Levi. And it's just got this real like aggressive side. This is what she does, right? And this is what I'm looking for. Different, singular. This is not Andres Slot garbage. This is good. Okay. So yeah, go watch Monos. And when you listen to that score, you're gonna be like, that's good stuff. Okay, let's get out of that and go back to here. That's what you're getting here. You're getting weird shit. Sorry, it's what I do. I don't know what to tell you. Best original song, Don't Care, Amelia Perez. Cinematic box office achievement, definitely not a Netflix movie because they don't have any movies in movie theaters that matter. So they didn't get nominated, did they? It was Wicked, not a surprise. The best. Listen, I love Deadpool Wolverine. It was in our top 10. I mean, I like Deadpool Wolverine more than Wicked. I like Wicked, but Deadpool Wolverine's funny as shit, man. God, we called it. Man, did we not call that? We called everyone going to love that film. And then remember, I'll never forget. I'm never going to let Menzel live this down. On that stream, he's like, I don't know if you're right. I'm like, I know I'm right. I don't need to be told. Like, here's the difference between me and everybody else, right? Everybody else needs to be told by someone else that they feel like they're in a group, right? So they come out of Anora and they're like, I didn't like that, but look, everybody says it's good. It's really risky for me to say it's garbage. I don't care. I don't care if everybody said it's great. If I think it's bad, I'm not going to come out and say it's good. That's the difference. These people don't have a backbone. They have no ability to stand on their own and say, this is the reality. In fact, if you find anybody in this world that's able to do that, as we saw over the past several years, find somebody who can do that. And you found someone here in the film space for sure who will say, whatever, I don't care. If I believe in it, it's what I believe in. I don't need to be told by someone else. I don't need to be part of a group. Fuck the group. I don't need your tribal bullshit. I'm a tribal one. I'm not left or right. I'm very much a libertarian. I'm very much in the center. Do I lean left and right on certain issues? 100%. I'm not going to tell you I don't. But ultimately, I don't want to go too far into one side, because if I do, that's not fair to we're done with them. That's everything. We did them all in only an hour and 20 minutes. Jeez, Weber. So long-winded. Open comments, and then we'll play the song from Anora, because, by the way, I want some love for now that I've done that, let me pull this out. I want some love for do you guys see the mullet? Can you guys see the mullet? Tell me you can see it. The mullet is it's hard to see here. Let me move here. The mullet is, dude, it's a full fucking mullet. I want some love for doing this, because it's a masterpiece. It's coming in exactly how I wanted it from 1991. And I'm thrilled to announce that the mullet is pretty much 100% here. Book of Eli has a great score. Wasn't a fan of the film. Exactly. DK fan. That's what I'm saying. The film has moments, and I love Denzel Washington. I sent this out, right? You know how you have people like, who's that awards guy, that Brian guy? Oh my God. Every time I read one of the tweets, I just go, I'm getting dumber. He says the most expected shit. Why do you follow people like that and listen to people like that? He is never going to say something interesting. In the rest of his life, he'll never say something interesting. I don't know his name. He's like the awards guy here or something. Here's what I'll tell you. Is this is what I said. You get questions like, what's your favorite movie and best direction? Who do you think was a director who didn't get enough credit? I said, what's a film that has a score that's too good for the film? And they go, what? Book of Eli. You see? That's what I do. That's what I do. Brian Awards loser is like, hey everybody, I think that The Brutalist might win Best Picture. You guys are like, why are you watching that fucking clown? He's bad. These people aren't even real. They're not real. Why do you watch somebody who's fake? Why do you watch somebody who's like literally going to say what they're expecting? Every time you tune in, they're going to say Anora is great. The Brutalist is fantastic. I said these things because I believe them. They didn't say Anora is great. These other people are like, well, I can't say that. Even if I believe it, I could be ostracized by film Twitter. Oh, no, you're kidding me. The losers who have no life, like the great joke from Nikki tonight about the Wicked. I had friends in high school. What a couple of reviews. Listen, Rob, not a lot. I mean, I've seen everything. I'm going to try to see some of the foreign language films as they roll in if they come into AMC. I did already miss Sacred Fig, but I might try to catch that on a link. I've got links for a lot of films. I just prefer to watch them at a theater. And unfortunately, sometimes there's so many films stacked in that I run out of A-list, or I'm just tired of going to the movies. So when, listen, I didn't prioritize it. I prioritized a film that I shouldn't have. You go back to some of the films we've talked about, and I'm like, why did I sit through, what's a film recently? Like Mufasa. Why did I watch Mufasa? I should have seen anything but Mufasa. Okay, but I understand that people like when I come out of a film like Mufasa and destroy it, because it is bad. And that's, I don't want to not be part of that conversation. Now, that said, Sonic 3, here's the difference. You're all telling me Sonic 3 is fun. Fine. I don't want to see Sonic. So it doesn't matter if it's fun. For me, I already know, right? I'm actually being very fair, right? If I don't want to see something at all, okay, is it fair for me to go into it? Because even though I say that I'm going to strip it out and say it's good, and I know I can do that, but I'm just telling you that desire to not watch it is so strong that it's a disservice to the film for me to go watch it. There's a film coming up here really soon, like One of Them Days. I watched that trailer and I was like, oh my God, I'm not watching that. That looks, when I watched that trailer, I was watching it going, oh, I'm not like, I'm just going to tap out some of these films. I tapped out of Sonic. I'm just not going to watch some of these things because it's not fair. I don't want to watch them. I don't have to watch them. I would rather spend time watching a small film like an Asphalt City. Again, stamp the bingo card. Asphalt City, Handling the Undead. You go back and you look at a lot. Femme was another awesome little film from this year. National Anthem. These are films that are very small. They're out for like a week. If I don't see them, they're gone. I have to watch those. So I'm going to start to prioritize even more, even though this year, I got to say, I saw almost everything, man. I only missed like Sacred Fig. I missed. That was one film. Okay. That's pretty good. For a whole year to only miss a couple of things, that's pretty good. But I unfortunately shouldn't have seen some films I did. I can't help that now. Transformers 1, I'm not watching it, Gunger. I won't do it. There was something else I wanted to get here tonight. I've heard it's okay. But I just don't want to watch it. I want to let me show you this real quick. We talk about Golden Globes before I leave here. I want to give our cinema champion here tonight to Barbara Broccoli. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't think it's broccoli, right? From Bond. You see what she had to say? Read this shit. This is great because this is hammering a studio. Talking about James Bond. So our cinema champion tonight, for sure. Listen to this. When it comes to Bond's future, the power lies in the hands of Barbara Broccoli. I believe I said it right, who inherited the control from her father, Albert, and who, for 30 years, decided when a new Bond movie can go into production. She was told, friends, she did not trust the algorithm-centric Amazon with a character she helped to mythologize through big screen storytelling and gut instinct. First time I'm reading this, by the way, some love for this. This is a cold read. This fall, she characterized the status of the new movie an hour and 20 minutes into the stream. A new movie in dire terms. M dash, no script, no story, and no new Bond. To friends, Broccoli has characterized her thoughts on Amazon this way. And for this quote, you, Barbara, are our cinema champion of the night. These people are fucking idiots. Is that not the ultimate MMT quote? That's what I said about I said that about A24. These people are fucking idiots. Wilson, her stepmother, has complained to friends she couldn't land a meeting with anyone at Amazon above an L6, the internal designation for a senior role that is nonetheless 6 rungs below chief executive Andy Jassy. She's just hammering Amazon. It's great, right? I mean, how great is that quote? Literally, the quote is, literally, these people are fucking idiots. That sounds like me about A24. Okay. And because remember, this year, when you look at A24, go back and look at our Death of A24 stream. We had Tuesday, our worst film of the year, tied with The Front Room. Okay. 2 of the worst films I've seen in any theater, maybe ever. Okay. Those 2, you throw in Civil War, hellaciously overrated. You throw in Problemista, not a good film. You throw in even TV Glow, I didn't hate, but it's overrated, okay? There's elements I like, not overall, I would definitely not, for the average person, recommend I watch the TV Glow. But it's better than a lot of the stuff A24 had. I saw everything they put out this year, even The Brutalist, which was not their film. They acquired it. And I'm telling you, A24's never had a worse year. I mean, the fact that they put their badge on The Front Room and let the Eggers brothers direct a film is the biggest embarrassment for any studio I can recall anytime soon. You guys got to understand. If you haven't seen The Front Room, watch it, come back and tell me. You'll be like, I don't know what. That's what you're going to say. What? Why? Why did you put your badge on that movie? Why did you say, let's do this? That I don't even understand. Okay. Yes, The Front Room's worse than Anora, but it's not getting any love, right? The Front Room's getting hammered as it should. I think it's at 50%. It should be at 0. But it's not. Here's the deal, right? I don't think Anora's good. I think it's really bad. I think there's a lot of things that just really are just so annoying and grating on that film. All the, certainly the arguing, it's unfunny, the jokes, the whole Instagram, let's look around New York for this guy, fucking bad. But here's what I'll tell you, is that when you at least from a filmmaking perspective, it's got some interesting things. I love the opening scene. We're going to play the song momentarily because I'm about it. I'm exhausted right now. I've done an hour and a half of this. My brain's about fried. But when you look at it, at least from a filmmaking perspective, I'm fine. But here's why am I violently pushing back on Anora more than anything? Because the narrative, right? If the narrative is Anora is a best picture, it's a best film, I'm going to push so hard against that agenda. I am going to, literally, you're going to be tired of hearing, because the agenda is so pushed and the narrative is so forced upon that film and so unearned that I'm going to be rageful in my vengeance against Anora. You guys understand? If Anora was not being talked by anybody as being a great film, I wouldn't care. I'd say, yeah, Anora's not good. We'd move on. But it's combating this narrative that Anora is some kind of Oscar-worthy film. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pretend. We're not doing that shit. Okay, so that's where that comes from. Civil War. Why'd I get so violent with that film? Poor thing. Same thing. Whenever the narrative is, this is a great work, and then I go, this is definitely not. It's not just, it's objectively not. Then I'm going to be very aggressive. Very, to the point where you're going to be like, that's too much. Too bad. I'm trying to combat a narrative. So if I can get one voter from the Academy to look at Anora as the joke that it is as a nominee in any category, that is a win. 2, bigger win. More, let's go. Let's hope HFPA watched an Anora stream and it didn't win anything tonight. That's what I want to do. I want to call attention to films that matter and you should see, and I want to destroy the films that are overrated, number 1. And then obviously the films that are bad deserve to be hammered too. But the number 1 mission is to rail against bullshit narratives. Number 1 mission. which makes me, by the way, extremely anti-Twitter, anti-establishment without question, because as we just saw over the past several years, you've got to be pro this and that. If you're not part of the club. I would never make it in Hollywood because I would never go along. I told you, first day they get hire me, I'd be down at Warner Brothers like, Erick, you're the new head of development. You're going to look for scripts and you're going to look for directors and composers for, oh my God, let's get Micah here. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I would walk into the meeting and they'd say, hey, we're looking for a new composer for the film. And I'd be like, we want Micah Levi. Now, Micah Levi's okay because they, right? Of course. And so that's going to work. But let's assume Micah is not. Let's assume Micah's a white guy. I have to push for Micah. I have to push, and here's what I'm going to tell them. They're going to say, well, DEI wise, it's not. I'm going to like, I'm sorry, what did you just fucking say? What? No. Hold on. I know it's my first day, but I'm going to stop you right there. And I say, what did you just say about DEI? Because I'm not doing that shit. We're going to hire on merit. Do you hear me? I just asked for Micah Levi, not because it's they. Because Mike is talented. Do you understand me? We're not going to have this fucking discussion again. If you bring that shit up again, I'm walking out the door. Do you hear me? Do you get it? That's the difference between me and everyone else. No one else can do that in this town. Oh, well, I guess I'll play the... No. I'm in Disney. We're talking the meeting. We need to cast this person DEI. We're not casting someone because of DEI. We're casting them because they're good. Do you hear me? Do you guys understand this shit? We're not going to do this over and over. I'm going to say it one time. And if anyone says this shit again, you're fucking bounced. All of you. You, and you. Les Grossman, you're gone, and you're gone. You're gone. Get your shit and get out of here. We're not talking about that shit anymore. We're making good movies. Do you hear me? I don't care who wrote the script. I don't care if it's a white kid. I don't care if it's a black woman. I don't care who it is. Is the script good? We're making the film. Otherwise, do not even mention it. I don't even want to know. I want you to tell me. I want to read the script. I don't even care who the person is. Black out the name. I want you to black the name out. I want you to literally redact it. Let me look at it, and I can't tell. I'm going to read it and say this is good. And then they're going to go, surprise, it's written by a trans person. No. Who cares? I don't care. I picked it because it's good. That's why we win. That's why we're better than everybody else, because everybody else plays the bullshit game of checking boxes. I'm never going to do it. It's never going to happen. And I'm right and they're wrong. And you fucking know it. A few more comments and we're out of here. That's it. Every time I deliver that speech, by the way, I've delivered that speech probably 50 plus times here. It always fucking hits. Every single time it's like bang, nail drive. Boom, dude, motherfucker's just killing it. Jerk, it's time. No more. Good, we're out of comments. That's perfect. Agree. Thank you, Lizzie. I saw Lizzie's. I didn't. That's from like an hour. I don't know what Lizzie agreed on, by the way, Gone Girl. I just saw it and I'm just saying, there you go. All right, guys. We are going to wrap here. By the way, before I go here, let me just pull me down here. You're going to see me small. I'll go through a few more comments. Gone Girl, I'll push a few comments we didn't get to. Anything we got, I'll hit a couple as the way out of here. I'm going to play the song from Anora because I love it. So get ready for that. And I'll play some comments that we didn't get a chance to get here tonight. It's not starting shortly. The stream's over. But I just want to play some comments and maybe make some things as we listen to the song. Get ready, everybody. Here it comes, the song from Anora. The only thing that's any good about Anora, it is the Take That remake. That is the initial song you hear in Anora. I'll play some comments as we get out of here. Thanks for being here. MMT Live, always on Sunday night. Thanks for being here. As always, awesome stuff. You guys rock. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you soon. Maybe for Den of Thieves on Thursday. I know you really care about that film. Too bad. Here we go. Everybody, get down. Hold on. Let me turn it up. Give me a second. I got to turn the music up. Hold on. This is what happens when you're trying to produce and do everything like. Let's turn it up. And here come the comments. Ready? Best part of Anora right now. The only good thing about Anora is playing right now. One element. It's not even something Baker did. He grabbed the remix of that and it slapped. In the comments, but me. Oh, you're wrong. All things considered.
No way. Only thing I'm like, damn, in the north and in here tonight, as you can tell, I'm real proud of it is. Did you hear what? I'm gold. Here we go. I got them. Damn right. Yeah, you know it. Nice hit was neat, by the way. Nice hit. Almost over. Damn right. Hell yeah. Yeah, Mark, I miss.
Peace out, guys. You guys rock. Thanks for being here. See you next time. MMT is out.